Hello Leafs Nation, I'm Rick Scarborough and you're watching Blue and White Weekly, where we bring you weekly updates on the Leafs and the hockey world at large. I'm starting to think that this little dude right here is a better goal scorer than Austin Matthews, but that's not what's important. What's important is we have a brand new week of Maple Leafs hockey to talk about, so let's get into the news. Before we get into the games of the week, let's take a look at some news from around the hockey world. The IIHF World Junior Championships are fast approaching once more, and Team Canada is getting in warm-up games before Boxing Day. During Wednesday night's pre-tournament showcase against Team Sweden, it was revealed that Canada's goal song for this year is Courage by the Tragically Hip, which we play a clip of here, but, well, first of all, you all know it, and second of all, we fear YouTube's copyright scanner. That thing caught us in last year's Christmas special, and I really don't want to make an annual tradition of it. New Oilers goaltender Tristan Jarry has been placed on injured reserve just 3 games into his tenure in Edmonton. He carries a 3-0 record and an .887 save percentage through those games. The Buffalo Sabres announced last Monday that general manager Kevin Adams has been relieved of his duties, with former Blue Jackets manager Jarmo Kekalainen stepping in as his replacement. For more, we'll go to our ringside reporter, Riley Roberts. Thanks very much, Rick. Hang on. Thanks very much, Rick, and that's right. Now, before I get into what's going on in Buffalo, bit of an update on myself. I'm still trapped in the cardboard box, getting ready to be someone's Christmas present. They're throwing tissue paper into the box to, spruce me up a bit, but where was I? Right, Buffalo Sabres. The Adams era is over in Buffalo, with Jarmo Kekalainen taking over the struggling franchise from previous GM Kevin Adams. Under Adams, the Sabres finished 31st, 24th, 20th, 22nd, and 26th in the standings. Not great stuff from a man who was supposed to right the ship and turn the struggling team into a contender. Meanwhile, Kekalainen's 11 years as GM of the Columbus Blue Jackets saw him take that struggling franchise to multiple consecutive playoff appearances, only for that success to falter in the back half of his tenure. Kekalainen has made it clear that the East, as tight as it is, he wants the Buffalo Sabres to fight for a playoff spot, which is entirely possible with them only 5 points out of the wild card right now. They have the opportunity to capitalize on this new era dawning for the blue and yellow. We'll just have to wait and see how Kekalainen fares as his new position comes into its own. Until we know more, I'll send it back to you in the studio. And please help me. Christmas is coming, and I have no idea where I am or what's happening. Please. Well, Riley, when I said to you last week that help was on the way, I lied. But we're doing everything in our power to locate you, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas wherever you end up inside that box. On Sunday night, Sidney Crosby added one more piece of history to his Hall of Fame career. Coming into Sunday's matchup with the Habs, Sid was 1 point behind Mario Lemieux for not just first place in Penguins all-time points, but 6th in NHL history for the stat. Crosby would not only tie his former teammate and mentor with a goal in the first, but surpass him with an assist later in the frame to score the most points in Pittsburgh Penguins history, and 6th among all-time NHLers. And now let's get into the games of the week, starting with a Tuesday clash with the Chicago Blackhawks. Prior to the game, a ceremony was held honoring Leafs longtime radio host Joe Bowen, who after 44 years as the voice of the Maple Leafs is retiring at the end of this season. One would hope the boys could pull out a good performance on a night as special as this. Halfway through the first, the Leafs only have 1 shot on net, and by the end of the period, it's 2-0 Blackhawks. Good performance on a special night indeed. The second period was better only from the standpoint of the Blackhawks didn't score again, thanks almost entirely to the stellar performance of a returning Joseph Woll, playing his first game since December 4th against the Hurricanes. But things greatly improved in the third, with Oliver Ekman-Larsson getting the Leafs on the board with 10 minutes left in the game. Not long after, on the power play, it's the captain who would find the back of the net and tie the game, doing the hand to the ear celebration, which is some classic Austin Matthews, taunting the crowd. Wait a minute, this was a home game. He was taunting his crowd. What is wrong with this guy? Yes, the boos were raining down all night, and I suppose Matthews wanted to let the crowd know he heard them, but that's just not the way to do it. The way to do it is to score 8 seconds after your last goal, as Dakota Joshua makes a break off the center ice faceoff and gives Toronto the lead and the 3-2 win. The process was all wrong, but the results are 2 points, and I won't argue with that. From there, we go on to Saturday night in Nashville, and what's that? No, I didn't forget about the Washington game. I skipped it. Well, the Leafs didn't care to show up for it. Why should I? All right, fine. I'll talk about it quick. Leafs lost 4-0 in Washington. Who cares who scored or who did what? The only thing that mattered was this quote from Berube postgame when asked about the Leafs' lack of passion or urgency in their game. Ask those guys, not me. Not a good sign, and in addition to the mounting evidence that Berube has lost the room. Okay, now we can get into Saturday's game against the Nashville Predators. The effort started out strong from the Leafs, with Nick Waugh getting the boys on the board early for the only goal of the first, 1-0. The teams traded goals from there, with Eric Holla tying it up on the power play and John Tavares and Adam Wilsby extending that tie. That tie would pick up midway through the third when Luke Evangelista scores an admittedly highlight reel goal and Steven Stamkos picks up an empty netter to seal the deal, until Bobby McMahon brings the Leafs right back in it. Until Cole Smith gets another empty netter for the Preds to make the final score 5-3. And so, with the supposedly easier of the two games on this back-to-back squandered, the Leafs ride into Dallas to take on the Stars in a rare Sunday nighter for the team. With how much the broadcast mentioned going into the game that the Leafs have had luck when playing in Dallas lately, yeah, we're losing this one. It took until late in the first for the first goal to come as Jason Robertson picks up a bouncing puck and puts it past Dennis Hildeby. Prior to picking up the puck, however, he was busy trying to pick Jake McCabe's nose with the blade of his stick, but no call, of course. After a few ridiculous calls here and there because the refs decided to take their vacation early, Maverick Bourque scores, but the play is ruled offside and we stay 1-0. In the closing moments of the second period, a scramble in front of Jake Ottinger gave the Leafs several opportunities, but Otter shuts the door on all of them, and as much as this team hasn't earned excuses lately, they're kind of getting goalied in this one. The Stars open up the third with a 2-0 goal courtesy of former Leaf Ilya Lyubushkin getting some revenge, but it's awarded to Sam Steele. But that 2-goal lead is short-lived as Scott Laughton gets the Leafs a marker to make it 2-1. The 2-goal lead is restored by Dallas captain Jamie Benn, and while the Leafs continue with shot attempts, an empty netter and a dagger more than put this one away, Leafs lose 5-1. We're recording this just as the game wraps up, so we haven't gotten to watch any of the post-game interviews yet, but I'm expecting a lot of comments along the lines of, yeah, well, you know, we can take the experience and just build off of this. Or something like, yeah, you know, we had a lot of chances, but nothing really went our way. No excuses, boys. You lost. Looking ahead in the week, we come home to host the Pittsburgh Penguins in an afternoon game on Tuesday, before the Christmas break carries us into yet another weekend back-to-back. On Saturday, it's the Battle of Ontario as the Sens invade Toronto on Hockey Night in Canada. Then on Sunday, we jump on down to Detroit to reacquaint with the Red Wings. We'll have all those games for you next week, plus so much more. And from all of us here at Blue and White Weekly and the entire Hammer Hockey channel, thank you very much for watching Leafs Nation. Have a Merry Christmas. And remember, go Leafs, go. We'll see you next week.